Welcome on in to Sports Memo Today. Did you miss me? Because I missed you. I missed being here with my Sports Memo crew. Huge thanks to Joe Ranieri filling in for me on Tuesday. It wasn't by design. I got to have the great fun of moving my girlfriend out of New York. If there's anything worse than navigating traffic in New York, it's when you're doing it with a U-Haul truck. So I survived. I'm here, and I'm ready and raring to get some actionable information for you in 30 minutes or less here. Might even be shorter on this edition of Sports Memo Today. Happy to be here with you. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, and coming up and joining me, you see to my side there, two guys, and no, they don't share the last name. It's Don Buster Sports and Jeff Michaels Sports. We got Buster and JM coming on, and you also see the Major Four. We're hitting all of it. We got NBA talk, a little MLB, a little NFL draft play at a plus money for you, and an NHL money line play that you can get at even money. So plus money is the name of the game here today. So let's get right into it. Go down south of the border and welcome in my man, Don Buster. Always love seeing him on Puck Time. So great to have him here with us on Sports Memo Today. And Buster, we promised the people actionable info in 30 minutes or less. So I know our friend Carmine Bianco is probably saying, Don Buster can't do anything in 30 minutes or less. I say phooey. Let's get right into some NHL action here, man. In this Rangers and Devils series, Don, is a home team finally going to win? Or what are you thinking tonight? Because it's just been the zigzags of all zigzags. But none of those zigzags going the way of home teams. So how are you going to be betting this one?
Yeah, it's been a great series, and I think it's going to be a great game tonight. Truthfully, though, Dad, I don't think that the home team will win again. I actually really like the Rangers here. I always talk about a couple of things, and I talked about it on Puck Time on Tuesday about two things that I really like when it comes to the playoffs. You have to have good goaltending, outstanding goaltending, and coaching. Well, New Jersey put in Schmid for the last two games, and he was outstanding. I have to believe you're going to see some regression in that goaltending tonight. You got to remember, he wasn't even their second choice this year. He was their third or fourth choice. So I really believe that I have the better goaltender in Shesterkin here. Have to believe that. Let's talk coaching. I really like Gallant much more than Lindy Ruff. I actually never really liked Lindy Ruff as a hockey player. I used to have to watch him in Buffalo when I was younger. Really think Gallant did a real good job in getting his team ready he just kind of read them the riot act after last game. This Rangers club should be playing a much better hockey. They just didn't look the part last game. I think they come back with a huge game here. One other thing that's always important is special teams. The Rangers have gone 0-11. If you go back to game 2, they're 0-8 the last two games, but then go back a little further, they're 0-11 on the power play. You're going to see some power play goals from this club. They're just too good to keep that up. And it's funny. If you look at the statistics on the special teams, even with that 0-11 for the Rangers, they have the better power play and they have the better penalty kill. Give us the Rangers at even money here tonight.
Yeah, and this was also a play that we've seen some steam go the way of the New York Rangers, as this was sitting around plus 105 earlier last night. So still at even money. We don't hate that. Anytime we see a plus next to it, you can always talk me into it. So we're looking at the Rangers continuing the woes for the home team in this series. I'm with Buster. This is going to be one you're going to want to sit, grab some popcorn for. Been one hell of a series. I don't see why that doesn't continue tonight. From the ice, Don, let's go to the diamond, where you've also been shining. We got Kansas City taking on Minnesota, and you just think that the balls might be flying out of the park there. How are you breaking this one down, Buster?
Yeah, I really, again, I looked at the total in this game, the Kansas City-Minnesota game, and I saw it was an 8. I actually had 8.5. And these are two pitchers that we have been fading for the last couple of years. I'm not a big fan of Greinke, really not a big fan of Malley either. So again, I had it at 8.5. And Greinke has already faced the Twins this year. Opening day, he allowed 2 runs. Big thing here. That was at home. Greinke has been terrible. I mean, terrible on the road. He actually hasn't. He's been winless in his last 19 road games. This year, he's pitched twice on the road, 10 innings, allowed 8 runs. Now, last year, when he went to Minnesota, he actually went there 3 times and pitched. Last year, he allowed 11 runs in 14 innings. So that Minnesota might do a little bit of the heavy lifting for our over, but that's all right. Now let's get to Kansas City. Now, we're not going to kid anybody. Kansas City does not have a great hitting club, but I love an angle on teams regardless. These are Major League Baseball players. Yesterday, they were shut out. I always like, if you can see the matchup, I like taking the over on a team on a game that a team has been shut out. Now, like I say, Kansas City isn't the best hitting team, but I don't like Malley. I just think he's so inconsistent. He had a great game last start. Can't see him putting 2 good games together. That's just the way he has been. So I like that angle with Kansas City. I think they're going to get some runs off this guy. And last but not least, Dan, something that I've been doing, I don't know, I've been doing this for almost 40 years, and something I'd probably be doing for a good 20. I like to be the contrarian. Well, the last I looked at this, maybe it was about an hour ago, 88% of the money was on the under 8. Give us over 8 here tonight, Dan.
I love the little fade action there from a man, Don Buster, contrarian by nature. Don, when people head on over to your page, sm.buzz/DB, what are they going to find locked and loaded? Because I know you just gave 2 great free plays for the folks, but for the clients, they've been cashing with regularity throughout this NHL playoffs. So I know you got a little something for them.
Yeah, we do. And actually, any time, and as you know, Dan, you know me quite well from Puck Time and everything, these are client plays. When I put them out, I just don't put out free plays. And then these are actual client plays I have gave to my clients. So I just want everybody to know that. We have that great deal at SportsMemo. You buy a month, you get a week for free, and it's only $2.39. That works out to about $6 a day. And this would be a great time to buy us. We are really doing well this last month. NHL Playoffs just started. We're up 8 units. Just started. Have a couple nice series plays alive and looking good. NBA, even in the NBA, where we play the odd play here and there. We've won 4 of our last 5 NBA playoff games. But our big sport so far that we've been really having a great start right from the start. We've had a great run. We're number 1 at SportsMemo and Major League Baseball. We are actually on an 18-3 MLB run right now. I hate promoting stuff like that, Dan. As you know, you start talking like that, then you might jinx yourself. But you know what? I've been doing my homework. I'm back in Mexico now. I'm back on a regular schedule. Being in Canada is kind of tough on me. I had to deal with a few things. Really seeing the MLB board well, and looking forward to keeping this run going.
Love it. That's my man, Don Buster. Highly suggest checking him out. And also check out Puck Time every Tuesday. Sometimes they move them around. Sometimes they keep you guessing. But typically, Puck Time on Wager Talk TV, you're going to find Don Buster having fisticuffs with our man we mentioned earlier, Carmine Bianco, every Tuesday. Always love when Buster is on the show there, and highly suggest riding with him as Major League Baseball continues to roll on and you want to hop in on his hockey now. If you never purchased from us with our great guest that's coming up as well with Jeff Michaels, head on over to sportsmemo.com. And if you'd never bought from us before, we got a nice little, can't quite say risk-free, but a great money-saving opportunity from you. You can use Try Memo, that's TRYMEMO, at your checkout. And if it's your first time ever purchasing from sportsmemo.com, you get to chop 50% off either a 1-day pass or a 3-day all access. So I would suggest when you see a 5% play or a top rated play that you want to get, why not use that Try Memo promo code and chop 50% off of it. All right. Now a guy who always somehow comes on and makes a fade of a Philadelphia team. It's my man, Jeff Michaels. Always love having him on. He's been doing some great content over with sportsmemo.com. Had a video that came out the other week as well. So check it out. Always just search his name there in the YouTube and you'll be able to see what he's dropping there. A great follow on Twitter as well, JM Sports CLE. So, Jeff, pleasure to have you on here, brother. And we do have to talk a little NFL. But first, man, how's it been and how's it been running for you and your clients?
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I can't complain. Big 5% winner actually last night. Got a little nervous there for a second because it was that Miami-Milwaukee going over the total. Fourth quarter wasn't quite scoring as much as the third, second, and first for that matter. But hey, we ended up going to overtime anyway and it cashed in the fourth quarter. So nice big winner in the NBA last night. So I can't complain.
Absolutely. And an ultimate gentleman, making sure that he keeps the mic silent so Don Buster can get the folks the actionable info they know and love. All right, man. I usually start with the game that's going tonight. And whenever you have a future player, you have a league that you're looking at. But we have to start with the NFL draft. We haven't had any draft talk since earlier in the year when we were talking with Eric Pauly and he was giving out some players that he liked either in the first round or over under their draft position. Here in Pennsylvania, where I'm at, we can't bet these with the reputable sports books. For whatever reason, they don't let you bet NFL draft. So you're probably going to be saving me some coin because I was probably going to say, hey, Eagles, take Bijan Robinson at pick number 10. Don't mess around. Just get the running back. You think he might be sitting a little bit longer than some people may expect. How are you going to be betting the draft tonight, Jeff?
Yeah, you caught me laughing when you brought me on because I had absolutely no intention here of really going against any Phillies plays today. And, as soon as I put it in and give you guys the heads up on what I'm talking, your first reaction is you like Bijan Robinson to the Phillies. So once again, or to Philly. So once again, I managed to sneak it in there. But, I am going to talk a little bit about Eagles here because Bijan Robinson's number is sitting at 12.5 over under for draft position. And he's minus 250 to go in the top 12. And I think that is insane. I think that there's three feasible, if we want to call them that, options inside the top 12. First two, Detroit and Atlanta. I could see it. I could understand it, I guess, to some extent. But to me, you don't take a running back, especially that high in the first round, unless that's the final piece that you need. And one of the biggest things I think that plays a factor this year that hasn't always played a factor in the NFL draft is the fact that Minnesota's been verbal about the availability of Dalvin Cook. And I think that proves a factor because somebody who really wants a running back, do you go after a veteran like Dalvin Cook before you go after a rookie like Bijan Robinson, which I think could hurt his position here? But the third option, which is the most feasible option in my opinion, is your Philadelphia Eagles. But still, in my opinion, for this Philadelphia Eagles team that obviously we saw make it to the Super Bowl, only needs a piece or two to get there, a running back could help fit them well. In my opinion, this number 10 pick here holds more value on the trade market than it does on the draft board to this Philly team. And even to your point, Dan, I still think Philly could get him. I don't really see them trading this pick away to get out of the first round, but I do see him trading this pick to potentially benefit them, in the shorter term, maybe dropping back a couple picks for somebody who wants, an Anthony Richardson if he's still there. I think Houston could have their eye on him at number 12. So somebody who agrees with me in the NFL, this could be the perfect opportunity to jump past that number 12 and snag an Anthony Richardson and see Philadelphia drop to, 14, 15, 16, whatever it may be, because I think the viable options for Bijan Robinson outside of those come in at seeing Detroit at 18, Minnesota at 23 if they trade Dalvin Cook and some of the, contenders. So I like him going past that 12.5 spot there with Robinson tonight. And you're getting plus money and a good price at plus one over 180. I see 182 there. I think I saw 185 earlier on DraftKings. I can't confirm if that's still the same.
Yeah, good plus money play there. And hey, we can still both get what we want. Maybe the Eagles trade back, use that 30th pick to then move around and then figure out maybe Howie Roseman on the phone with everybody, figuring out hey, who wants Bijan Robinson? Who wants Bijan Robinson? Trying to slot himself in. So fingers crossed. Let's get him at pick 13, and then we're both happy. Let's let's make it happen, Jeff. All right. Well, the thing that does make me happy is what's happening in this Boston Celtics and Atlanta Hawks series. The fact that Trae Young just he won't go away. He won't allow the Hawks to just go away. And as a Sixers fan, I know how that feels well when you have a nice lead in a series and Trae Young says, well, let's hold on. But tonight, the Celtics are laying a price here, man. 7 is the spot. Are you laying it with the Celtics, or does the Hawks magic continue tonight?
I am. This is, everybody's talked about Trae Young, ice in his veins, and we've seen it. We saw it in the last game. I'm not going to deny that. There's no question. But this is the first time in Trae Young's career that he's played with 3 series losses in consecutive games. So he's had a good record with 3 series losses, but that's more against the spread. And one of those was a game 7. You saw him win in game 5, and this is the first time that he's going to have to defend his team for consecutive games against the same opponent. You look at, little TNA, I got a couple for you here that look at some league-wide trends based off of what we saw the Celtics do in that game 5. Teams that lost as a home favorite, but still managed to shoot 50% or better from the field. They're 10-4 against the spread in the last 14. Teams that lost as a home favorite and are playing again as a favorite of more than 2.5 points, 16-1 against the spread since May of 2021. And teams to blow a double-digit lead in the playoffs, 15-7-1 against the spread in the last 23. So league-wide, I don't bank on them. But you look at the Celtics, even 5-2 this year against the spread when they go into the fourth quarter with a lead and blow it. And Missoula, in his short career, 21-6 against the spread against opposing defenses that are allowing over 48% shooting. So we know this team can get it done. I like Boston in game 5, to be honest. And you got an Atlanta team that's struggled to do it in consecutive games in the regular season. I mean, 6-20 against the spread after a win by 6 points or less, so off a close win. And they're 11-26 against the spread off an ATS win in general. So, and last thing that stood out to me, Trae Young actually has a better winning percentage in the playoffs on the road than he does on his home court. So I think the biggest thing that stands out to me, like I said, is Trae Young having to do this consecutive games here. And we saw him get it done. I don't think he can have that same kind of performance in back-to-back games. I think Tatum, Brown, Smart, that there's a lot of names on that Celtics team to defend, and having to shut them down like that with your back against the wall in 2 consecutive outings, I don't think it happens here. I like Boston laying the points tonight.
Laying the spot with the Celtics, so somehow you come on and are able to back a Boston team for this Philadelphia guy. Some way, somehow, you always throw a shot at me, brother. But I love it. That's why we continue to have you on week in and week out. When people head on over to your page, sm.buzz/JMS, what do you have locked and loaded already outside of those 2 free plays you gave for the folks?
Yeah, as Dan mentioned, those promos that we got going on are awesome. And I actually have my first MLB play already live going in the day action today. I got 2 more tonight. But if you sign up for those all access passes, you'll get the plays the second that they come out. So you don't have to worry about going to buy those promos. Doesn't matter what time the game, first pitch, tip off, kickoff, whatever it may be. You got it when it happens and you got it before it goes. But there's 2 more MLB plays tonight over on my site as well.
It's Jeff Michaels. Make sure you check him out. As he said, locked and loaded already. And hey, we promised you that actionable info in 30 minutes or less. We got a little closer to the buzzer than we typically do, but we still got you ready and locked and loaded. So 4 different leagues in under 30 minutes. I don't know where else you're going to find it than right here on Sports Memo Today. If you enjoy the show, all we ask you to do, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed here for all of our great shows at Sports Memo and at Wager Talk TV. We'll be back locked and loaded every Tuesday and Thursday here. Until then, best of luck. I've been your host, Dan Alexander. Big thanks to Don Buster. Big thanks to Jeff Michaels. And big thanks to my producer, Eric, always crushing it behind the scenes. We'll see you next week, hopefully with some more money in your pocket right here on Sports Memo Today.